Congestion, construction, traffic in Toronto is...
I live in this intersection. It's almost like impossible to get out during like non-rush hours. So like we have to plan our day around it.
Yeah, it's pretty bad. Yeah.
Do you drive or?
Not if I have a choice.
So when you think about traffic in Toronto...
It's increasing day by day and very hard to like driving in the weekdays.
It's crazy that you have to plan your day around traffic.
100%, because like I try not to leave downtown as much as possible during weekdays.
It sure feels like it's getting worse. 86% of people recently surveyed by the Toronto Region Board of Trade say the city is in a congestion crisis.
Well, by Toronto's own admission, traffic congestion in the city is at an unprecedented level.
According to rankings by the TomTom Travel Index, Toronto is third worst for traffic, trailing only London in top spot and Dublin, which is second.
Last year, the average Toronto driver was stuck in traffic for 118 hours.
Stuck and frustrated. So is Toronto traffic making us angrier? The videos go viral for a reason. They are shocking, disturbing, and can be downright dangerous.
It was enough for them to stop and then ultimately get out of their vehicles. And as you can see in those videos, rolling around the highway, incredible. I'm just speechless.
A recent study by CAA South Central Ontario found more than half of Ontario motorists admit to risky and unsafe driving in the past year. That number jumps to 61% among young drivers ages 18 to 34.
And there were a variety of behaviors we asked them about and what they admitted to engaging in. But the top 5 were speeding, distracted driving, unsafe lane changes, aggressive driving, and running red lights. Some of those behaviors could actually be leading to some of these instances of increased road rage.
When it comes to tracking reported incidents of road rage, it's not that easy. I reached out to Toronto Police and the OPP. Neither tracks specific data around the issue, but professors of psychology like Laura Kavanagh are keeping tabs.
The definition that I think is helpful is to think of road rage as any incident where aggressive driving triggers an act of violence, verbal, physical, or otherwise, against another person, whether you're inside or outside your car. I did find a survey in 2015 where 1/3, so 33% of drivers reported an incident within the last month. And a second study in 2022 found that 80% reported a road rage incident in the last month. So I really do think it's going up.
So you study human behavior. What do you think it is that seems to be making GTA drivers more angry behind the wheel?
I think there's a number of factors that go into road rage as a phenomenon. We definitely know research shows that congestion is a big issue. So we tend to get more frustrated in situations where we're not moving, where we feel like we can't get to our destination, where there's that feeling of a loss of control. I think it's analogous to the same way that people are more aggressive behind the keyboard where they're anonymous than they would be in the real world, right? And someone might say something in an online comment or post something that they wouldn't say to someone standing next to them in the supermarket. And the car, being in a car, gives us a sense of anonymity and de-individuation.
It's 3:30 at Front and Spadina. If you know, you know. This intersection can be total gridlock at rush hour. To help try to ease things, the City of Toronto expanded its traffic agents program last year. That's these special constables whose job it is to keep things moving.
Their workspace is the intersection itself. The traffic agents have to continuously keep their heads on a swivel. They're continuously checking the surroundings, the situations, and they're almost strategically expecting how drivers will behave.
The frustration, especially around the traffic, the Gardner construction just seems to be that much higher.
But that's what the traffic agents are here. At least, in this chaotic city, there's some organization involved, and the city's really putting a lot of pressure in terms of making sure that traffic is continuously moving in an organized flow, especially along these main corridors, right? So Spadina, Jarvis, Yonge Street, Bay Street, all these corridors that lead down to Lakeshore and onto the Gardner. Honestly, I love traffic, and it's tackling an issue. It's solving a problem, and it's actually solving a problem.
You're the first person I heard that says I love traffic.
I think somebody else has
The way you're framing it, right? Because for most people, they're just stuck in it. But
Yes.
you're working towards the solution.
I just want people to be aware that traffic agents are in downtown going. They're actually there to make sure we're getting home as fast as possible.
Yeah,
Right?
yeah, exactly. Yeah, you're helping.
Absolutely.
That's what you're
That's
doing.
the main word, helping.
All right. Perfect. We are on the road now with somebody who is behind the wheel a lot, driving instructor Corey. So if you are driving and somebody cuts you off, or they do that thing, that brake checking, where they go in
Yes.
front of you and they hit the brakes, like, what would you tell one of your driver students? Like, what's the best course of action if you suddenly find yourself involved in one of these situations?
I think it's really important to be aware of your surroundings first of all, and then also try to cooperate with other drivers on the road by turning on your hazard lights. I found that's been very effective if you have to brake suddenly, and you want to try to keep as much space as possible from the other driver who's acting aggressively, and you want to try to get away from them if possible. We also, worst case scenario, if you feel like you're in grave danger and you need immediate help, you can always call 911, of course, but if it's a situation that doesn't warrant calling 911, you can always call non-emergency police lines just to report other vehicles as well if you think it's necessary.
Now, if you feel like you find yourself becoming frustrated or angry, what would your advice be to a driver then?
Yeah, my advice would be to definitely take some deep breaths and try your best to find a safe place to pull over and just recompose yourself.
Yeah. And hey, I feel like we've all been there. Like, I know there's times when I feel myself getting frustrated and angry, and it's like, okay, you really, like you said, taking that pause and a few breaths and remind yourself, like, what I'm doing right now it could be dangerous.
That's exactly it. That's exactly it. We want to make sure that people have the mindset that a driver's license is not a right, but it is a privilege. So we want to make sure that everyone who has a driver's license is equipped with the knowledge and understanding of what it means to be a responsible driver.
Experts say when it comes to serious road rage incidents, drivers are often already facing elevated stress. So worries about work, relationship problems, or scraping together enough money for rent or mortgage payments. It is important to try to manage those day-to-day stresses because sitting in traffic can be triggering. Something else we've all heard before but is worth repeating: give yourself enough time to get to where you're going, because every second stuck in gridlock can feel catastrophic. Easier said than done, but traffic congestion in the GTA is here to stay. That we all know is true, so we've all got to live with it.